Hey there, superstars. Welcome to Soulfully Illumined. And in this reading, we're going over messages from your inner child. I feel like, the inner child is really coming into play at this time. And it's so subtle right now, but I just feel like this rise of the inner child that's going to be building momentum in the upcoming months. So I decided to do this reading for you guys. So we have 3 piles. Let's see what the inner child, your inner child, would like to tell you. We have 3 piles. Pile 1 here, which has the red jasper. We have pile 2, which has the cat eye. I know it's similar. It was interesting that they both pulled out, but let's see what wants to come through. So pile 2 has the cat eye, or tiger's eye, I should say. And then pile 3 has the rose quartz crystal. So we have 3 piles, pile 1, pile 2, and pile 3. Go ahead and connect with each pile and scroll down below and click on the pile that best resonates with you. And I will see you at your pile. See you soon. Hey there, pile 1, welcome to your reading. If you picked the jasper, this reading is for you. So let's get into it. Let's see what wants to come through for you. See what your inner child wants you to know. Okay. So the card that you pulled, or the card that you picked, oh my God, interesting. Yellow jasper. I did not look at these cards. I basically pulled a card for each pile, and then I went to my crystal bowl and picked a crystal for each group, asking spirit which stone was best for you for this reading, and that's what popped up. So you got the yellow jasper here. Interesting. Okay, so here it says control issues. Utilize your God-given strength and power instead of fear that others may try to control you. Okay, so let's first off talk about your inner child here. Pile 1. So first thing about you that I'm getting, pile 1, is that your inner child has a lot of passion, and that passion can be expressed in different ways, but I'm just feeling like this sense of expression. And Waffles, if you heard my dear wonderful cat, is expressing herself in the background. So with you though, your inner child has sass, it has fire, it has passion. It has, like maybe as a child you got into some trouble. Or it could be that maybe you suppressed that passion. It could go in either way here. But regardless, there was this inner fire in you, this sense of not really being good with boundaries. Feeling maybe a little constraint when it came to boundaries, rules, things like that. And what I'm sensing here is because your inner child wanted to expand, wanted joy, wanted to do what they want to do, what he or she wants to do, wants to play with life and experience life their way. Really interesting. And with the violet energy there, like I feel like your inner child is more of like a risk taker and is one that's willing to go against the grain. And it's I'm smiling as I'm feeling the energy and seeing, the card, because it's like, we need more people like you. That's how change is created. Sometimes there has to be, a lot of times there has to be some disruption in order for things to change. And with this card here, it's just, to me, feeling with all this chaos, the center is very, there's a lot happening in this card, in the center. But for some reason, I just feel like it's solid. So there may be a lot happening within you. Maybe, you have had a bit of like ADHD, or like just, you had a high energy, your inner child, high energy within you that needed to be utilized, needed to be burned. But it's like you were solid in your core. You are solid within yourself. And with all of this chaos that may have surrounded you as a child, or maybe in your current reality now, what they're bringing forth, what your inner child is bringing forth, is that no matter what the chaos is around you, you hold the core, you hold the strength, you are the one in the situation. If you've watched The Matrix, maybe you'll understand. But you are the eye of the storm. And where maybe people or situations may have pointed at you saying that you were chaos, or maybe you were a little too much, your inner child is like, no, we were the eye of the storm. We're the center, that still point. It kind of reminds me of like Kali Mata. And the goddess of Kali is all about destruction. And the thing is, she's so strong and centered and so passionate, and she utilizes her energy in a way of destruction. And that's not a bad thing, right? It just allows for a transformation to happen. And your energy kind of reminds me of hers in a sense of that she's so strong within. Strong-willed is a word that I'm hearing right now. She's so strong within that she creates the change around her. And your inner child is bringing that up for a reason. And let's get more into your cards to see why. So for pile 1 collective, messages from their inner child. We have unknown territory. You are exactly where you need to be. Okay, that's where it's coming from. We have wise leader. I know these cards in reverse, but I don't necessarily read them in reverse. It's just kind of wherever spirit is taking me. Okay, so bottom of the deck you have grounding, which takes me to your red jasper that you got. And the red jasper is a great stone for grounding. It's a great stone for grounding. It's a great stone for protection. It's a great stone for being very clear in the mind and quick thinking and organized. It's a great stone for the root chakra, health, stability, and so forth. And your inner child is bringing that up because it may be at this time that you're feeling a sense of insecurity, a feeling of instability in your world. And when we do feel that way, we tend to hold on tighter to control. And as I do that, I can feel my arms, my forearms feeling really tight and my hands being a little achy. So if yours are, that's basically your body telling you you're holding on to a state of control. Now, this may be consciously or subconsciously. And your inner child is coming through today to remind you that you've always had this ability to step forth as a leader. You always had this ability to walk or dance to the beat of your own drum, trusting the process of your life, because you just you exuded it. You had the passion residing within you. You just did it. There was not much analysis behind it. It was just innate to you. And you have the wisdom, you always had the wisdom. But at this point, you're being asked or encouraged to bring forth the lightness in your step, because things may have gotten a little heavy. And so that inner child of yours is asking you to remember the control that you're seeking, you already have, and that's within you. And that everything else around it is transpiring for you as a result of you and your energy. So let go of the need to control, to try, because that child didn't need to try. It just changed everything around you. You have this fire, as I mentioned earlier, and it's like you may have felt like that fire has been lacking. And they're saying it's okay. It's because right now there's this need to nourish yourself. Go deep within yourself and fill yourself back up. And notice how with the grounding card, right? Like you got similar colors here and similar colors here with these two cards, like they're connected. And your inner child is asking you to connect more deeply with him or her. Take a deep dive back to that sense of joy, that sense of freedom that you once had, that sense of rebellion that you once had. Now, not in an deconstructive way or not in a destructive way, but more of a deconstructive phase. Meaning, how do I say this differently? Deconstructing, when you go inwards sometimes, right, and you remember the past, you can then deconstruct from where you are now to going back to where you were and deconstruct. And therefore, number one, it could be a healing of releasing the old, releasing all of those paradigms that you've built along the way, right? And healing yourself as you do that, or clearing yourself as you do so. That's what I mean by deconstruction. Because that inner child of yours, that child is wise, is strong, and he or she wants to step forward because you're about to embark on a new adventure. And this one, my friend, is different from what you have experienced before, but will require you to step up, will require that inner child to step up. And it's like, this is what I'm hearing. This is what we've been waiting for. This is what that child was built for. And you're going to find that you're going to be put in situations that then allow that inner child or those traits of the inner child or tools of the inner child to come up for you, to remind you of who you are deep down at your core, and remind you of who you are not. Go deep, explore your roots. Love it. Love it. So you're moving into a time, pile one, of like a more barren, dry, wintry sort of energy where things weren't really manifesting or things weren't passionate, and moving into a time of blossoming and growth. And so as you move into this time, it's like you're undergoing the fire of purification. And part of that is connected to your inner child. Some wounding that is being healed. And your inner child is just waiting, ready to just kind of come out. And so during this process, you're going to be discovering some truths with the Discovering Truths card, and where you've been carrying extra baggage that no longer applies. And a lot of it has to do with ancestral healing, family healing, and where you have, over the years, instead of following your own individuality, but instead following the herd. Because my friend, like, your inner child wants to go their own way. And so, and it's interesting because it's like you're bridging from, right now, it's like you're going from the herd into this individuality, into a sense of wholeness where you may have been split before or bogged down before. Is there anything else? Anything else here? You are exactly where you need to be. Some of you may be experiencing or have been experiencing some frustration, and that's that passion energy coming out. And it's almost like, it's like kind of like when a car starts and it's not really starting. It's like just a little bit of a rev, and then a rev, and then like a little bit more, and then it finally starts. It's kind of like your body's way or your energy's way of just kind of giving you a little bit, giving you a little bit more, and giving you a little bit more. So be patient with the process. So we're going to continue on. Messages from your inner child. What else do you want them to know? They're saying you got what it takes. We always had what it takes. We have Angel of Strength here. And I think that's so connected, because what stops you, they're saying, is your mind. When ultimately you were built to lead with your fire, your heart. And so in the upcoming weeks, you're going to see where the mind has been preventing you from moving forward, and how maybe it's been colliding with the heart or your intuition from moving forward. Because you are destined to expand. You are destined to make changes, Pawan. You are destined to fly. And so they're asking you to trust yourself, because we know what we're doing. We know what we're doing. Door to value, bottom of the deck there. You know, it's difficult when you're following people, following a group, following, you know, like a culture or like a fad or something like that, because it's like when we're constantly following other things, it's hard, because it's like, what about our individuality? Is it not good enough? And there's something to that with your child memories that may be popping up, or that has popped up. And what your inner child is trying to tell you is, no, man, we've always had value. It's almost like your inner child is trying to heal your present self. And it's saying to you, no, we've always had value. But I think it's vice versa. It's like weird, the connection that I'm seeing. It's both. Because what you heal or clear now impacts everything into your past, and everything in the past impacts everything in the future. Okay, it's all connected. It's all synergistic. Okay, so if I'm saying that and it doesn't make logical sense, it's all happening at once and it all impacts the other. But it's like they're saying to you, it's like you always had value, you have value. You just got to remember that and stand in that. Remember that oomph that you had as a child. One more card, please. Spirit, messages from the inner child. Healer of the Ages, card 51. Interesting. I've used these cards so many times. And then we have like I've shuffled them so many times, but you got a 50, a 51, a 52. So I think with that, it's about like taking the steps. So we have 5, 6, 7, 0, 1, 2 is taking the steps. And you may be a little impatient, but for you, it's important that you take the steps and you be patient with yourself as you undergo the process. Because from an energetic standpoint, you're doing more than you think you are. Every time you take a step, pile one, you ground the action into the energy, into the quantum, into physical reality, which creates a ripple. So this is more than just, okay, crap, I want to just get there already. I want to do this. This is impacting everything and everyone connected to you. So trust the process. Okay? There may be some things that you want to do, and pile one, there may be some things you want to get done and certain things aren't clear for you. But what's coming through here is, because this is the most important thing right now, is filling yourself up and connecting with your inner child and your inner self. Because there's specific light codes that are coming up, and there's certain traits and characteristics, as I mentioned earlier, that are being activated within you. You're rooting something. You are definitely rooting something. Okay. So I think that's it for you for this reading, pile one. My God, I spoke for 20 minutes. Okay. That's it for you, pile one. You have an incredible inner child. I hope this resonates with you. Thank you so much for putting your time in today. And if you like the video, do give it a like, subscribe if you haven't, and I look forward to reading for you guys again. Take care. Bye. Hey there, pile two. Welcome to your reading. So let's get into it. Messages from your inner child. Let's see what your inner child wants you to know. You picked the Tiger's Eye stone. I'm going to put that right there. And the card you picked is the Sodalite crystal. Beautiful. Love the Sodalite crystal. Okay. So I'm not going to read that yet. I'm just going to look at the picture, and let's talk about your inner child first. What does your inner child want you to know for pile two, please? All right. There's something really beautiful about your energy, pile two. I feel like you do two things. It's like you bring people together. You have a softness about you that brings people together, that soothes them, right? But then you can also see the individuality in people too. So you may have been, like, as a child, you may be someone that, you know, had a lot of friends, that, you know, people just really genuinely adored you, but you had like this softness about you, and that inner child of yours, that child of yours that is you, was just like, it's like she or he is just like super sweet and light and just graceful. You are very nourishing. If it sounds like you, like it's like you have this nourishing presence that you provide for others. Yeah, that's really like the energy that I'm getting from your inner child. And so what's coming through for you is to remember that. Because you hold a lot of wisdom. Your inner child holds a lot of wisdom. And maybe as an adult, you've taken it for granted, or, you know, maybe you just ignored it because, you know, let's be real. If you're an adult, you're busy. You're not thinking about your inner child. But your inner child is coming through to remember a tool, remember a characteristic that you have or you hold, which is that one of lightness, the one of softness, the one that's able to support others as well as yourself. Because maybe as a child you had to be supportive for others, or it just kind of, that sort of vibe just kept gravitating towards you. It's because you have this beautiful healing light about you. So that's coming through for a reason. And let's see why, which was interesting because you got the tiger's eye. The tiger's eye is about courage, it's about focus, it's about grounding, it's about empowerment and willpower. So let's see what wants to come through for you. So for pile 2, well, that was easy. Here we go. We're going to take the traveling lightly, simplify your life. Messages for pile 2, inner child. What do you want them to know? You too, huh? Wise leader. I wonder if this is a theme for everybody. Pile 1 got wise leader too. And then you got miracles, which makes sense because that's what I was talking about before. About your ability to bring people together, but yet still, you know, see the individuality in each. So the reason why they're bringing that up to you is that you have this beautiful gift. And it's time now to bring that forth. You know, you've had this gift innately because you are to bring that forth. You are a beacon for others. And this is the time now for you to dissociate from the old. And with the traveling lightly, simplifying your life, I feel like that's a form of guidance for you and a remembrance for you, in a sense of it's time to reorganize and clear out some of that clutter of the past. Those things that don't bring you joy, those things that you've been carrying because you thought you had to carry. But there's a decluttering that's being requested of you. So you can really see, number one, your light, and this could be, the decluttering could be your thoughts, it could be within you, things within you that need to be cleared out. But this could also be in your life, in your reality, such as cleaning out your home, certain like hobbies or things in your life that don't really bring you joy, that need to be cleared out. The purpose of that is to make space for you to really just dance with life your way and to really just move forward, carrying the things that bring you joy. Your inner child is telling you that you've been serious for far too long and heavy for far too long. As I said that, the timer said 6:06. That may resonate with some of you. And so now it's time to lighten the load and to clear out the garbage that doesn't serve you anymore. And it's time to dance. It's time to play. It's time to lighten up. Interesting. Because even with the leaves, like I'm getting like the falling of the leaves, it's like the clearing out of the old, because you're walking this path, and this path doesn't require you to carry everything. You already have everything you need within you. And the thing about the sodalite, like it's taking me to like the sodalite crystal I have, which is like blue with spots of white. And part of that, and that I feel like it's connected to your throat chakra in a sense of you expressing yourself, you being in the world and expressing yourself. It's time for you to join in with the socializing and join in. Make healthy and supportive new friendships and connections by getting involved with a group of like-minded people. It's difficult to do that when you have a lot of responsibilities and obligations, and perhaps for some of you, baggage. And that's why this clearing out is important, because they want to bring you back to that energy of your youth, of that inner child, of what it feels like for that child to feel happy, at peace, and safe. Because that energy, is a powerhouse. That energy is manifestation energy. Okay, pile 2. And so with the miracle cards, it's like, number 1, I'm getting expect miracles. Expect you to show you. So expect your inner child, that childlike enthusiasm, to show that adult the magic that you carry and the miracles that you can create and the miracles that can happen as a result of you just being you. It's time to explore. It's time to expand. It's time to really be gentle with yourself. And it's time to focus on the present and the things that you want. With the first light beginning a new cycle, I feel like this is something that you've tried to birth before. Maybe there's something that you've tried to birth before, and the piece that you've been missing is the inner child and the joy that he or she brought, the energy he or she brought. And they're taking me to the amethyst crystal right now and the sense of wisdom that you hold, because you hold a lot of wisdom, especially with the colors that I'm seeing here. Very ancient soul. And when you connect back to the energies of your inner child, I feel like there's going to be a remembering happening. And that's going to help to flip the switch of that old cycle. Because I feel like you know what to do. It's just like there's a piece missing. And your inner child is like, it's me. It's me. I'm the piece that you're missing. I'm the piece. And so there's this like emerging that's happening for you as a result of this. And this emerging is this beautiful, more balanced blend of your inner child and your human self, and your higher self, all sandwiching together into a beautiful, delicious sandwich. Or whatever, you know what I mean. All right, so let's continue. All right, so inner child of pile 2. What else do you want them to know? What do you want them to know? Yeah, it's time to clear out some clutter and strategize. Oh, look at that strategy. Angel of balance. Yeah, it's like there's some things that you've been wanting to do that haven't been either manifesting, or you haven't known how to do it, or there's too much happening in your world. And so your inner child is saying, it's time now to really dream. It's time to pull out a book or a pen and paper or something like that and just really write and just freestyle and let yourself go. Let yourself glow. Interesting. So some of you might be a writer, some of you, I don't know, but as you write, I feel like there's a lock it's like you're going to unlock something, and that's going to give you greater direction. and help you clear direction and help you to build some sort of wealth, some sort of abundance in your world. So again, it's time to focus. Interesting how they bring me back to this. It's time to focus. It's time to be courageous, because you're about to step outside of the box. And that energy of the softness that you carry is not only going to support yourself as you move out of this box, it's going to support others. And with the angel of balance coming through for you, pal, too, it's like, and interesting because the 4 and the 8 equates to a 12. So we have a 21 and a 12 mirror images of each other. You have the angel of balance, and it's like you may tend to, now as an adult, steer yourself. You may tend to go towards one extreme or another. But they're asking you, your inner child is like, remember your balance. Why do you feel like you need to go from one extreme to another? You make miracles happen when you're in balance. And this start of a new cycle, because interesting with the moon here, and then you got the moon like the same way, and then you got the moon in the opposite. Anyway, interesting with this new moon. It's like this new start of a cycle of with your inner child. And here you can see with the angel of balance, you know, we're in our most purest state when we're a child, right? Before all of the hoopla of life and family dynamics and, you know, mental processes, all of that stuff starts to take into play, right? And with you guys, it's like, now's the time to find that balance of life. And by clearing out the clutter and just keeping those things that just really bring you joy, you'll find the time, you'll have the time to really strategize and see what possibilities are available to you. Because there's something more. There's something so much more that's waiting for you on the other side of this. You just don't see it yet. But your inner child's coming forth and saying, let's create it. Let's write. Let's journal. Let's see where our imagination will take us. Because with your lightness of energy, it's like you have this very creative imagination. And that is an aspect that wants to come forth and create miracles in your world. All right, so pile 2, it's like you're starting this new beginning and you've already planted the seeds. You're just giving it the proper environment to grow. So be patient with yourself and know that, you know, everything is working out for you, and you have such a beautiful light that is impacting everyone around you. But now is the time to give it to yourself for this moment. Okay? There's something about that for you. All right, pile 2, that is your reading today. Thank you for watching. I hope it was, you know, helpful for you, and I hope you enjoyed it. If you did like the video, do give it a like. Subscribe if you haven't. We'd love to have you. And I look forward to reading for you guys again. Take care. Bye. Hey there, pile 3. Welcome, welcome, welcome. If you picked the rose quartz crystal, this reading is for you. Let's get into messages from your inner child, and let's see what your inner child would like you to know. So the card that you got was, oh, beautiful, turquoise. Spiritual path. Your true beliefs are becoming clear to you, which prompts you to make necessary life changes. All right. So pile 3, I feel like with your inner child, like you have like you're from like a really high frequency, a really high energy. Like you feel really, really light. Your energy, you may connect with the term rainbow child, but there's something like you're just really, really light. I also feel like you're really intuitive and you can really connect to the realms. That's what I'm really getting for you. And you have a very strong heart chakra. Like your higher chakras are really, really, I don't know, they're really high and pure and light. That's what I'm getting. And your inner child is bringing that up. I'm not quite sure why yet. Let's see. That's just the energy I'm getting. I feel like you've always been a little different from everybody else. You've maybe been more sensitive, like as a child, more sensitive to things and to words and to just, you know, life. That's what I'm really getting here. But where am I going? Am I going there? Am I going here? We want to start here today with you guys. Pile 3, messages from their inner child. What do they want you to know? Pile 3. 5th chakra, Archangel Gabriel. Do you want me to take both? No. The thinking woman. Rest and rejuvenate. You may connect, oh my God, okay. Yeah, like your heart chakra, it's like, okay, sorry. You have a really, really high energy, and what's coming through is this, you know, when you have really strong upper chakras, then it's like, it's easier if we don't ground ourselves, we may, and if our mind is really strong, we may tend to use more of that faculty, more of like the mind versus, you know, our third eye or whatnot. But it's the higher, sorry, pile 3. So I'm trying to piece these pieces together because it's like you have a really high energy, which I get that. High frequency. It's not the chakras, it's the mind and the heart connection. Are you an overthinker, pile 3? Do you tend to think a lot? I feel like what your inner child's bringing in, it's time to let go. And that by overthinking and maybe worrying too much or being too hard on yourself, it's actually hindering you. And it's disempowering you. And your inner child says, you're here to be light. You're here to be, you're here to just allow yourself to glow, and just follow your heart and follow your instincts. And you're meant to be multidimensional, but it's almost like you put yourself as an adult, maybe currently in a box, where you've been inhibiting your self-expression, maybe inhibiting the way that you have just been living your life, or inhibiting what serves you. And your inner child wants you to expand, wants to release the burden, wants you to let go of that. It's like, I'm hearing it's like, it's holding us both down. And you have this lightness. It's like your inner child wants you to soar, to float, to allow. And with the rest and the rejuvenation card here, it's like perhaps you don't feel safe in your environment, or you don't feel fully grounded in your environment. And I, for one, can say it can be really difficult to be in this environment. And because it can be really harsh. But with you, it's like somehow along the way, it's like you disconnected from that lightness of who you are, and you worked through the harshness and the lines and the boxes of this reality. And your inner child's here to remind you that you are meant to be light and live life with an open heart. And knowing that the abundance of the universe will support you. There's a sense with the rose quartz of needing to be gentle and compassionate with yourself, bringing forth, like, the energies to me match here, and a sense of the lightness and the softness of what the card is trying to depict, as well as that rose quartz. It's like you were meant to be light and easy, but through your life, and maybe this could be, I don't know, you know what it is, I'm not going to start listing things. Through life, it's like you hardened. And instead of focusing on your needs and what makes your heart light and glowing, you've focused on the physical reality. But now they're bringing me back to the mind again, and how it's maybe stemmed from the mind. I'm gonna get some clarifiers here. So clarifier, please, for the 5th chakra. Thank you. Yeah. Clarifier for the thinking woman. Thank you. Yeah. Clarifier for the rest of rejuvenation. It's a similar message, uncovering treasure. It's a similar message to one of the other piles. Not that it matters, but I'm just saying. It's like you've shifted. It's like you were once really light. You're on your spiritual path for sure. Okay, with it saying spiritual path, your true beliefs are becoming clear to you, which prompts you to make necessary life changes. And your inner child is like gung-ho, ready to rock and roll, and let's make these changes in a soft and compassionate way. Because at one point or another, you have closed down, and this is just what I'm getting here, this sense of individuality, your own authenticity, your own personality. And you have then just moved in the world as being one in the world. Does that even make sense? As being in the world. No, being of the world, not just in it. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. But you're not just, you're in the world, you're not of it. You're not these grays and straight lines and the boxes and the cement buildings. You are colorful. You're bright. You're vibrant. And they're saying here, your inner child is saying here, it's time for support. It needs that support. You need that support of color, of vibrance, of softness, of lightness. And to start to see that, one of the ways to do that is to see that around you, because it's like you haven't been seeing it around you. Perhaps you've been focused on specific tasks, certain strategies, certain things you had to get done, whatever. Whatever it is, it's like your inner child is asking you to come back to center. And let's see the beauty in the day-to-day. Let's see the color in the everyday. And as a result, it's like it's bringing up greater passion and pleasure in your world. Changing up your routine, adding some surprises along the way as you change the way you navigate your life, and opening you up to some hidden treasures and hidden gifts. And spoiler alert, one of those hidden gifts is you. This new or this other aspect of you that wants to shine through. Your inner child, pile 3, is really key for your happiness, because that child wants to be light. That inner child wants to be free. That inner child just wants to be, to float. And there's an aspect, there's a calling for you to take time out from the day-to-day, mundane, the routines, and stepping out of that and really connecting back into you. Connecting into the oddities of life, the things that are outside of your norms. Because it's those things that are outside of your straight line that are going to bring forth the color for you and hold gifts and treats for you and your inner child. This is a part of your spiritual path. And it's like the in-betweens, right? The straight lines, the in-betweens are actually like, I don't know, it just feels like that's where you belong. It just feels like it's a better fit for you and your inner child. Like it's a better fit for you to really just come forth together and really just play with life. I'm hearing support is on its way, but the first steps are necessary. Interesting how you got the 38 and then you got the 47, 11, 11. Yeah, support is on its way. Support is all around you, fellow travelers. As you step out of your daily grind, that same routine, I feel like you're going to meet some interesting people along the way. And those interesting people are really going to invoke that inner child. And I'll give you that space to feel soft, that space to express yourself, that space to feel safe. A really beautiful message. Excuse me. Solar plexus is coming through. Yeah, it's like, yeah, you've been tied back. You've had to kind of like tie back your ability to just be, because you had to move in the world in a different way, in a way that's more confining for you. That's going to be released. As you step out of that old routine, that's going to be released. Be soft with it. Be compassionate with yourself. Love yourself unconditionally along this process. This is a process for you, and a process that's going to bring some, I don't know, extra color in your life, okay? All right, so pile 3, that is your reading. Thank you for watching and your time. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it was helpful for you. Do give this video a like if you like the video. Subscribe if you haven't. We look forward to having you again, and see you next time. Take care. Bye.